let's give you a chance to go back and relive some of the top moments from today's game. And boy, one of the phrases we've heard over and over again is that fast start for Georgia today. They clearly got one, and what you loved about it is picking up right where he left off last week. How about Chauncey Bowens, a revelation last week against Alabama, and a big game to begin the game here for the Dogs. That one went for 19 yards. And, of course, that would set up Gunnar Stockton, who's also pretty potent with his legs when he wants to be, and he would get a rushing touchdown, extending the ball beyond the pylon to get that done. And, of course, when Georgia got the football back again on its second drive of the first quarter, Gunnar Stockton would give you more of the same. He's good when he uses his legs. The Georgia offense is better when he does that. Second rushing touchdown of the day for Gunnar Stockton. And yet, not perfect for Stockton, really good on the ground, but for the first time the 2025 season, he would throw an interception. Seems like he had London Humphreys, just misfired. But as Kirby Smart said, hey, you want him making throws like that, you want him challenging himself, just got to make sure you make a good throw. That one is one he'd probably like to have back. Of course, the Georgia defense would respond. C.J. Allen wrapping up, bringing him down. Georgia fans loving that. And then you go back later on in the second quarter action. Going to get another rushing score, this time going the way of Dillion Bell. Offense moving left. Bell coming back right. Creative play for Georgia. It was all Dogs at that point. You thought Kentucky might have a chance to tack on some points near the end of the first half, set up a drive, yet the field goal was missed. And then you get into the second half action. C.J. Allen comes up big again, punching a football free. Had to be reviewed to get the correct call, but the right call eventually made, and C.J. Allen got to put on the spike shoulder pads after that. Then Georgia coming back on offense. Been wanting to see more from the tight ends. Oscar Delp got the big gain. That would put Georgia right there in a scoring situation, and Georgia would take advantage of it, getting Dillion Bell going again for another rushing score for Bell. 2 scores on the ground for him. Also had a big catch. We think this day in many ways belonged to Dillion Bell. By the way, speaking of that big Bell catch, would you like to see that? Of course you would. Fighting with the Kentucky defender, bringing it down. Bell was all over the place for the Dogs here today. 33 yards on that. And then that would set up another score for Georgia. How about Cash Jones? A hot topic this week. Cash gets a measure of retribution for some of the chatter with that score. It was all Georgia at that point. And of course, for the first time the 2025 season, Georgia would get a sack from one of its defensive linemen. Nnamdi Ogboko getting in there to bring down Boley, the Kentucky quarterback. Wildcats would tack on a late score, but the final going to be 35-14. Georgia gets the win over Kentucky, to the delight of the fans who were here today. Now gets ready to go back on the road, SEC play on Saturday.